It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. Okay, so it's Super Bravo Tuesday. Guys, Super Bravo Tuesday is one of my favorite days of the week, and I have to tell you, while we let the room load up, I've noticed 3 things about myself this week that I really got to get together. One is I can't keep drinking soda water right before I come on here because it looks like I'm so tired and it makes my eyes water, which is ridiculous. 2, I went camping with my family this week for Thanksgiving, and my legs and my arms are covered in mosquito bites, so I don't think I'm a camping guy. And 3, I just want to let you guys know I'm not super lazy. I'm wearing a hat because I got my hair cut the day before Thanksgiving, and the woman was taking about 50 minutes. And I was like, okay, I just have ADHD and I can't sit there. I think I do. I just self-diagnosed myself. But I can't sit there in the chair without being like, it's time to go. So I look like I have kind of a mohawk, and I'm going to get it fixed tomorrow. So with that being said, I learned a lot about myself this week, and I hope everybody had a good week in general. Guys, if you didn't catch my interview last night with Paul, this is not Bravo related, it's TLC related, but if you didn't catch the interview, it was a doozy. It was almost 2 hours, and I was a little exhausted after that. As for today, I'm super excited to talk to you guys about all things Bravo. That's why we're here. And let me go ahead and drop the link for whenever people want to start calling in on the topics, but let me pull up the topics right here and let's get started. Okay, guys, so the Real Housewives of Dallas trailer just got dropped, and I'm really excited about it. I have to be honest, I've not always been a Real Housewives of Dallas fan, especially after Leanne left and I did my interview with her. I thought it was going to be kind of lackluster. I felt like she kind of brought a lot of drama to it, but I guess I didn't know what I was talking about when it came to the Real Housewives of Dallas. Now, guys, when I did my interview with Mama D, she told me that she handpicked our newest housewife of the Real Housewives of Dallas. Her name is Dr. Tiffany Moon, and that she wasn't going to disappoint. I don't know if you guys actually saw the trailer, but it's so freaking good. And you could totally tell Dr. Tiffany Moon is not going to disappoint. Now, Dr. Tiffany Moon is not our only extra castmate this season, but our other one didn't even make the trailer or she's also not a full-time housewife. Her name is Jennifer Davis Long, and I guess we'll have to learn more about her as the season goes on. But Dr. Tiffany Moon, she has a falling out with Carrie already. Carrie thinks that she's two-faced, and Dr. Tiffany Moon, God, her name just rolls off your tongue. Dr. Tiffany Moon, she's not coming to play. Even when Brandy, and we all know and love Brandy, I think for the most part, or if you guys don't, I'm sure you'll let me know. Brandy faced some racial allegations regarding, I don't even want to jump into that. I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. But let's just say Tiffany Moon is here to call her out. In the trailer, we see where Brandy said that she was contemplating taking her own life at one point. And I don't know if that's regarding having this 4th child or if that's regarding all of the backlash that she got coming from these racial allegations. This is going to be a big one. We also see Stephanie Hallman, who still seems like her husband's not taking her serious. And yes, I've binge watched these. I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to Dallas. You guys can also help me out because I love when you guys call in. But I think all in all, this is probably going to be a lot better than OC. Now, I know it's not hard to beat OC, especially this season. It's been a little bit lackluster, but I think this is going to be a good one. Deandra Simmons is coming back. Who else is coming back? Stephanie, Cameron, Deandra, Carrie, Brandy, also Dr. Tiffany Moon, and then we have Jennifer Davis Long. Of course, we're going to get cameos from Mama D, but if you guys ever did catch my interview with Mama D, she doesn't sign a contract. She says Mama D doesn't sign a contract with anybody, and that's because she doesn't want to be told what to do. Now, if you sign on as a full-time housewife, everyone, well, Bravo, has complete control, well, Bravo and Evolution, they have complete control over what you wear on the set, how you dress for the reunion, what time you come on to set, just your whole schedule. You pretty much sign your life over to filming the Housewives at that point. But let's be honest, these housewives make a lot of money. I mean, unless you're starting out and you're Leah McSweeney coming on making $60,000 for your first season, but even she wrapped that up and pulled it together. Guys, 96 in the room. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. And I just wanted to bring this up because we see Deandra, then Stephanie, Dr. Tiffany Moon, who looks stunning. We also have Brandy right next to her, Carrie, and Cameron. I think that, we'll see. We'll see. Hi, V.
Hi.
Oh, you're a little staticky.
You can't hear me?
We're getting a little static from you, V.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Oh, it's still staticky.
Oh, drop me out.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, all right, guys. So I see everybody was taking a second to look at the photo. While I move on, I will go ahead and put the photo back up for you guys for a second. But yeah, all of the ladies look beautiful. And I just want to point out, this is another thing that I was just talking about, is that these women have to dress a certain way and do exactly what Bravo tells them. Obviously, this was their intro, so everyone's going to be wearing red. But yeah, you guys get the point. We don't have to really dwell on that. Anyways, I want to move on to the Real Housewives of Potomac, only because I've seen so many comments in the blogs from not only the Adams Angels community, but even just all over the place on YouTube about what actually happened on the Real Housewives of Potomac at this wig shift with the bang party. Guys, you're all saying that Candace is potentially lying about saying that she was invited there early, and there's no way that Karen set her up. Now, I saw some of the comments where people were saying, well, Monique already talked about this in Watch What Happens Live, and that Monique addressed that she was, told to come there earlier and that she was going to be phased out before Candace got there. I understand that, but if the case is actually that Karen did bring, Monique there and then was inviting Candace to come extra early just so they would have a run-in, that would be a problem. It seems like that would be a little bit two-faced. And here's Karen right here, but I just don't understand why Karen would do that when it seems like she's in a good standing with the women right now. I mean, at least, I guess, let me bite my tongue on that. She's in a good standing right now, at least with Monique, with Ashley. Giselle, she'll never be in a good standing with, let's be honest. She's not going to be in a good standing with Robin because she doesn't even care. And Robin just cut her out of her embellished shoot, which if I were Karen, I wouldn't want to attach my face to that anyways. So good for you, Karen. And I'm not biased. I promise I'm not biased, guys. But I am curious. I'm trying to figure this out, and I'm trying to dissect exactly what's going on here. Because if Karen is the first one to say that I wouldn't promote violence, and somebody should, or if she would have gotten mollywopped, then she would have hired a lawyer, then why would she want them to run into each other again? Now, they were saying that, well, Ashley was saying in this past episode that it was probably because Karen wanted them to work out their differences. But what I'm not getting is once it hits that legal status, I don't think it's up to Monique and Candace to kind of meet together without lawyers to work out their differences, especially when there's so many allegations and some of them which were allegedly false. I just think that this is way messier than, anything else. We do know at the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, and guys, I went ahead and dropped the link again. I'm going to bring back V in a second. Hopefully her mic's good. But we do know at the reunion that Monique actually tweeted and saying that her husband did not come to play. We know that Monique doesn't come to play. And I think it's going to be a great reunion. We know that they filmed it for 11 hours, and we know that apparently everybody hashed their stuff out. But my biggest question is who's returning to the Real Housewives of Potomac? Now, guys, if we get Robin Dixon one more season, I'm going to honestly pull my hair out. And that's only because I'm so sick of this fake storyline. I feel like, her walking around, and I already said this on my recap, but her walking around and looking at a $1.6 million home with a $90,000 alleged tax discrepancy, and then also her husband looking at a $10,000 diamond, that doesn't add up to a $1.6 million home. I'm just saying, honestly, those things don't add up. So it's like the same thing when Candace in the previous season, again, I said this already, but when Candace in the previous season was looking at multi-million-dollar homes that also don't suit her unless her mom was going to pay for them, Dorothy. But now Candace just bagged a home of her own. She bagged a $1.05 million home, I want to say it was. I think that they said it's over 10,000 square feet, and it looks stunning. But I'm just, Interested to see how it's going to get paid for. I know that that's none of our business, guys, but just knowing what I've been told about everything, I'm curious what's going to happen with all of that. Candace did land a role on Netflix, so she might be bagging in her own set of coins over there anyways, and who knows? We don't know her financial situation. We just know that all of the women were bagging on her first 2 seasons because they said that she was living in her mom's house. Looks like that's not the case anymore. Let's see if V's ready to come back up. Guys, 134 in the room. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get some more eyes, and I'll drop the link. Hi, V.
Can you hear me?
Oh, it's muffled again.
I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Let me see if I can see.
Oh, I'm going to bring V back up. Hi, Adam. Have you recovered from your interview yesterday? The looks on your face were the best. Thank you, Master of Blackjack, by the way, for facilitating such a great interview. I think, honestly, I really did enjoy that interview with Paul. I just don't think I was anticipating how long the interview would be. But yes, I absolutely did enjoy the interview. I feel like sometimes we were talking in circles and going in different directions, but that's nothing new to you guys, me, or Paul. Paul did say, I have ADHD and I start here and all of a sudden I'm way over here. That's exactly what he gave us. So, I mean, at least he set the bar and let me know, especially if there's future interviews, I'm bringing in a lazy boy couch in here. I'm grabbing 2 bottles of champagne, a big bottle of water, and I'm getting a neck pillow. Just saying, for next time. Okay. Guys, I want to move on because we've already covered Real Housewives of Potomac. We're super excited for the finale and also the reunion. Oh, wait, the finale, that's going to be so good too. We know that Candace gets into an altercation, and it's not physical. It's not physical with Karen Huger and also Ashley Darby because, one, she's going to be addressing the whole Karen setting her and Monique to come at the same time for the wig shift party. And 2, Michael Darby goes and tells Chris to control his wife or get his wife under control, whatever. It's not verbatim, but I feel like he kind of instigated that one just a little bit. But you don't have to give Candace and her husband a lot for them to just go. But apparently you don't have to give a lot of people in this cast a lot to make them blow up. So seems like at this point, Ashley Darby is the only one with a level head. And I never, ever, ever thought I would say that, just to be fair. Okay, let's keep it moving though. Guys, I want to move on to Jen Shah in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This is one of my favorites only because I am so excited about what's to come this season. We've already had so many bombs dropped and it's been a little intense. Jen Shah has been going on and on about this whole comment that Brooks made about seeing her, I'm just going to say hoo-ha because I don't want to say the word. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but seeing her lady parts on the couch when in fact, I feel like when she did that move and she maneuvered on the couch, I don't think that Brooks or Chloe or maybe Meredith, Brooks or Chloe could have seen anything, but we don't know. I did want to bring this up real quick though, because she did tweet this saying her was not showing with the GIF meme, whatever you want to call it, of Tiffany Pollard, who I also loved from I Love New York, saying you should have just sat there and drank your almond milk. Probably referring to the fact that he was sitting there making his own almond milk. And she's like, shut up. Okay. But Meredith Marks isn't going to let Jen Shah just go ahead and tweet about her because I already addressed this before. But when Jason and I went to Meredith Marks's or attended, we didn't go anywhere. We sat right here, but attended Meredith Marks' virtual premiere party. She did say after watching the confessionals and season play out that she's really excited for the reunion and she has a lot to call out. Some people specifically who she thought that, you know, were her friends are in fact not, because they had a lot to say about her behind her back. Now, she said, Housewives of Salt Lake City said, Brooks Marks gets his confessional moment. What did you guys think of the comments? And Meredith Marks says, there's a lot more to the story than was shown. You will see. And I think that's what she was talking about at the premiere party too. But one person who got to actually go to the drive-in premiere, who I haven't in fact talked to yet, I'm so excited that he just called in. Let's bring him up. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good here. You know, like another day, another lockdown day.
Another day in LA. Man, I haven't had one of those in about a month and maybe 5 weeks now, but I'm not sad. I feel like everything's shut down again.
Yeah, everything is closed. I mean, restaurants just for takeout, but everything is pretty much closed again. So
Is that why we're
that,
seeing you not in your car right now and in your house?
this is my house. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Andy, if anybody hasn't already, everybody make sure you go check out Andy's channel, The Real Andy of Beverly Hills. But I'm so curious, were you calling in about Dallas, Potomac, or Salt Lake City?
I think a little bit of everything because, I mean, I'm such a fan of every single franchise that, I mean, it's insane. I watched the trailer of Dallas yesterday, and everyone was so worried that it's not gonna work without Leanne. Uh, but I watched it, and I am very excited, I have to say. And I think it's gonna be very good. I think this new housewife Tiffany, she's gonna really deliver next season. I'm really, really excited for it. And I'm a little tea. I don't know if you guys knew that I was talking to Brandy yesterday. You know that part of the trailer where she dropped through the stairs, fall the stairs, right? I mean, she did it on purpose, and she didn't know at that moment that she was pregnant already. But everything was fine. I mean, of course, like she ended up, I mean, she went to the doctor. She didn't know she was pregnant, but I told her, like, when a baby wants to come, it will come no matter what you do. But it was like, oh my God, I did that just for fun, and I didn't know I was already pregnant.
Did you just do an interview with Brandy?
Not an interview. I was just chatting with her.
Just chatting with her.
Yeah, yeah. And it was like, I mean, she laughed about it. It was like so funny, and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that I did that, and I was already pregnant." So I think it's going to be a very, very good season. It's going to deliver, and I think you talked about this before. It's gonna be a season that is gonna have a lot of drama, but it's gonna be the kind of drama that we like, which is stupid drama. No,
well,
like
it's not too heavy. And one of the things is too, a lot of the housewives who come in, you either get like the meek kind of squirmish housewife who really doesn't know how to blend in, or you have the housewife that just comes in like a hurricane. And I feel like Dr. Tiffany Moon. So when I did my interview with Mama D called Andy and said, "Hey, I have this woman. I know we're about to start filming soon. You have to come meet her." He said, "Mama D, I'm busy." She said, No, you have to come meet her. So he did. He flew out, I think, within that week to go actually meet Dr. Tiffany Moon, and they fell in love with her. And I think that they probably coached her a little bit in the sense of saying, "You better come in with a bang, sister." But her coming in and bossing everybody around and telling everybody how lunatic they are, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. I mean, like always, she's going to probably, like every first season, maybe try a little bit too hard sometimes. But at the end, it's going to be, like we're saying, like nice, enjoyable drama, that you kind of laugh about it and then you move on. I know, like the, destroying people's life kind of drama.
Yeah, I think the only heavy thing on that was probably the unfortunate slurs that, Brandy has to address, and Dr. Tiffany Moon is right there to just kind of call her out and tell her how wrong she was about it.
Yeah. And I think that was also important to show.
Yeah,
honestly.
which is especially 2020, those things should be addressed, but it's not like Salt Lake City right now is heavy.
Wow. I mean, everything that is happening in Salt Lake City, it's like, especially with Mary Cosby, it's like, whoa, okay. I mean, it is too insane. It is too insane and too long to talk about that because it is too much, honestly.
I don't think we even know the half of it, to be honest with you. I think we only know bits and pieces, but I'm curious really quick. Do you feel like there's eventually going to be a case that ends up coming up out of this? Because there's a lot of people coming forward claiming these different variations of alleged fraud.
I mean, if the rumors are true, they're saying that Mary, she was such a fan of Housewives that she went on to have a whole, cosmetic procedures everywhere just to become a housewife, at some point. And I don't think she realized that once you become a housewife, there are no secrets, everything will come out eventually. Every single skeleton that you have will come out. And these are not easy allegations, this is not like, oh, a cheating rumor or so here and there. No, this is like hardcore big allegations. So even I think it's too negative, honestly, and I don't know if Bravo it's gonna like it, because it is too much negative attention. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it still goes back to same thing that I addressed with Real Housewives of Potomac. Bravo is still a business at the end of the day, and certain things that come up, whether these housewives tweet something out or whatever, sometimes it's not always what they do on camera. Sometimes it's what they do off camera that they have to be held accountable for. And if Bravo just lets them skate by, I mean, that's the very same reason that they fired 4 cast members at the same time from VPR. It's like people have to be held accountable. So I just don't know how some of our housewives wouldn't be under the same kind of.
Look, it's like it comes back to the same, like watching Jen fighting. I don't know, over the flashing situation, that's the drama that we are like, okay, this is stupid, but we will watch this, because it's entertaining, it makes us laugh, blah, blah, blah. But watching people saying that they were scammed, that allegedly someone tried to take his own life over, I mean, it is too much,
It's
and
a
it
lot.
is so much negative attention that I don't think Bravo is gonna like it, honestly, and I think this is gonna be the only Mary season, to be honest.
Okay.
Because it is too much.
Well, Andy, I appreciate your input. This is heavy. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next topic, but thank you so much for calling in. This is the first time that I've had you up here, and honestly, anytime you'd like to call in, you're more than welcome. I'll always bring you up.
I have been very quickly. I have been a very huge fan. I have following you since you were a little bit less of 1,000 followers.
Oh, thank you.
And I mean, honestly, you were my inspiration to start my YouTube channel.
Wow.
So I was like very excited, and where you are right now, it's amazing. So just keep going. I think
you keep going too. I mean, honestly, YouTube has so many viewers, and I think it's important for everybody to just constantly support everybody, because we don't have to, there's enough room for everybody. We don't have to take each other out. Right. This isn't Hunger Games for YouTube. So honestly, if you ever have a question or anything like that, or just want to do something together in the future, just shoot me a message.
Okay, let's do it. Right, Adam, thank you. Have a good day.
You too, Andy. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and keep it moving. I want to move on to the Real Housewives of Orange County, because I know you guys love them so much, and I'm being super sarcastic about that. But we just watched this past episode this past week, and we see Shannon was a little bit 3 sheets to the wind, or 20 sheets to the wind, whatever you guys want to call it, and everybody else had their own things. But my thing that I'm fixated on right now is Elizabeth Lynn Vargas, only because she keeps constantly talking in circles. She's going in circles about this husband, ex-husband, and her boyfriend, Jimmy. She slept with Jimmy. She didn't sleep with Jimmy. She kissed Jimmy. She doesn't kiss Jimmy. She wants kids. She doesn't want kids. She can talk about the divorce. She can't talk about the divorce. We need her to pick a lane. At this point, we've heard and pretty much confirmed 99.999% that Elizabeth Lynn Vargas is not going to be asked back as a full-time Orange holder next year. And I can definitely see why. When they're talking to Elizabeth and asking her all of these questions, she's saying that she can't come forward because she's still going through her divorce. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but her divorce was finalized this summer. I just found this out too. But maybe that's going to allow her to talk more. I just feel like she stuck her foot in her mouth this season by coming on a season too soon. And I think maybe she should have waited, because had she have waited, she would have been able to divulge all of this information and, the stuff that we don't get to see on TV. Now, I did want to do a little bit of digging, because I wanted to figure out who Elizabeth's ex-husband was, where all the money comes from, because we're not getting that from watching the episodes. So what I got was, before Elizabeth finalized her divorce of the summer, she was married to Bernt Bodal, or Bodal, B-O-D-A-L. He's a Norwegian businessman who once appeared on the reality series Undercover Boss. He's worth $200 million, and he's 67 years old. Their divorce is finalized. They were married for 20 years, and I'm just curious what that settlement looked like. Now, she was holding out for a long time for this settlement because she feels like she didn't get kids, she didn't get certain things, and she deserves that money. When Gina was yelling at her in the episode and telling her, listen, this is going to kill you, just give it up, I was kind of thinking in my head, maybe you really should just give this up. This is her ex-husband right here. Elizabeth looks stunning right there. But I don't know. I'm really curious to see what you guys think about this. If you guys haven't already, just go ahead and sound off in the chat, and then I'll bring the comments up because I'm curious. But I'm going to bring up one of the callers just to see what she thinks. Hi, Dana.
Hi. How are you today?
You?
I'm pretty good. Just got through teaching.
Oh, all right. So you're starting off your day with a bang?
Yeah, 4-year-olds and 1 3-year-old. So.
Oh. That probably takes a lot more energy than this does.
Oh, it's a lot of woo. But with her, my sense about her is that she was really struggling because I sensed that she still had feelings for her ex-husband in the midst of all of this divorce. And I feel like it wasn't just that she didn't want him to know that she had slept with the boyfriend or things were going on, because it would severely affect her settlement. Because if you remarry, I can see that it would affect the settlement. But
right.
I'm sure that he's been with multiple women since, even in the midst of.
So you feel like she didn't want him to know because there might have been a chance of reconciliation?
I think it's one of those things of mixed feelings that, yeah, if he knows I've been with someone else, it's going to affect how he feels about me. Or, maybe there's this slim chance he's going to, wish we were back. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, when she started breaking down, they kept digging at her. Have you hooked up with Jimmy? Have you hooked up with Jimmy? And they keep asking and asking. And then she starts talking in circles and not realizing, because I think that, you add a little bit of alcohol to it. And I'm wondering, do you think she accidentally realized that she accidentally came out and said that she hooked up with him, actually went all the way with Jimmy, and then she realized the next morning, oh crap, I need to put on a show for the ladies just in case my husband sees this and I can show how devastated I am in case it gets played in court?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for you to rebuke that.
I think that it was a slip of the tongue. I don't think she meant to reveal anything. I think that alcohol just kind of, loose lips, sink ships kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that that's as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh no. Because her face, after she said it, she looked and she was like, and I was like, oh, you accidentally said it, which means now you have to backpedal and fix this somehow. And it seemed like that's what she was doing.
Really, in court, how can they negate her any funds just because she slept with someone or has a boyfriend? There's no marriage there. She's not getting any funds from him. He can't say, well, I'm not going to give you any alimony because you slept with a guy. Because that's not the reason they're divorcing in the first place.
Well, also, just really quick, wasn't she saying that, or weren't they saying at first that her ex-husband was a billionaire?
Yeah. I do believe so, that he was really, yeah, I think that's what she said when she was in the dress shop.
Yeah, which is not actually true. He's worth $200 million. And if we're going to call out Kylie Jenner for being on the cover of Forbes and saying she's a billionaire, and we're going to reveal that she's not, then I think it's fair if you're only worth, you like how I say that? Yeah. Only worth 200 million. That's not billionaire status.
Unless maybe she's counting on some kind of, unliquidatable or assets that could be liquidated somehow with business deals. Sometimes if you have assets that are yours versus business dealings elsewhere, maybe there's something going on that, they don't know about in public record.
Right. Okay. Well, that could be technically true. And I am curious too, just going back to Real Housewives of Potomac, just because I like hearing your thoughts. Do you think that this whole thing, and I know I'm switching it up on you and I'm going to be all over the board because we have a few topics, but do you feel like this was Karen setting up Monique and Candace to have a second conflict? Or do you feel like Candace is lying about the text messages, trying to push her to come early? Because technically, if there are text messages, Andy Cohen is going to want to see them at the reunion.
Oh, he absolutely is. But Karen's smart.
She's played this game already.
Yeah, she's played the game already, and she gets left out of the loop a lot. So she has a tendency to step back and see if there's a way that she can throw people under the bus just by observation.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
So you feel like she could have easily have manipulated this situation?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
I mean, if you think about it, a lot of the times the girls do leave her out.
Yeah.
And
well,
she's led to step back and kind of watch how she can take things down.
I mean, honestly, too, it's Robin sat there and iced her out of the embellish thing.
Mm-hmm.
Giselle has always kind of had her own riff with Karen and kind of been really mean to her. Ashley Darby doesn't miss a chance to throw her under the bus, especially because they've just gone back and forth so many times. And she's called Michael Darby a sicko and all of these other things.
Yeah.
And then you have Candace, who feels like Karen's not technically taking her side. And then all that's left is Monique. And right. Monique and Karen are neighbors. And it kind of gives, like Andy says, if you don't have a friend in the group, we can't invite you back. It gives Karen a friend in the group, especially if Monique is not being cut out.
And I mean, Karen's hands are not clean by any means. She has not always been my favorite person when I have watched the show.
Right.
Because, she's one of the ones, one moment you kind of feel sorry for her and want to take her side. And the next moment you're like, B, you need to get out of the way because I'm just so tired of your mess.
Okay. You have your feelings about her. All right. And
I mean, I waver back and forth,
Yeah. Well, were you ever a fan of Real Housewives of Dallas or no?
Yes, I have always been a fan of Real Housewives of Dallas because even though they have money and stuff, they seem the most relatable in some ways because they came out of the gate not quite as, how do I put this?
Bougie?
Not quite as bougie and not quite as armed for the game.
Right.
As the other housewives have been.
Okay. That makes sense.
Like Brandy's still pretty grounded and playful.
And so is Stephanie.
And so is Stephanie when they get together, more so when they get together.
Carrie seems like she could get a little bit more serious.
Yeah. And, like Stephanie, I can see the sweetness in her heart a little bit. She can get a little bougie sometimes, but she goes back to, Brandy seems to bring her back to the groundedness, which I appreciate. Deandra, I tend to like her because I see the fighter in her. And I also can relate to her because I see how her mom can be with her.
You kind of look like Deandra a little bit.
Oh, I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, it is a compliment. I was just thinking about that. No, but go ahead.
But I can relate to the mother-daughter relationship that goes on there because I can kind of see my mom and her mom. Fortunately or unfortunately.
Yeah. And Mama D is kind of just unapologetically Mama D. Even in the interview that I did with her, she was just like, I don't give a rip. I am Mama D. I say what I want. And I was just like, go on, Mama D.
As far as Leanne, I'm so glad she's gone. I am so glad she's gone.
Why?
Because I was so over the whole, I'm a carnival kid. I was abandoned. All of that hoopla. I tried so hard to
like her
and embrace her, and there were moments that I did, but she just had such an evil streak sometimes.
Okay. All right.
I mean, she'd turn on you in a heartbeat.
Well, sometimes people do anything on reality television. That's just the harsh reality of it. But there are other people who lead with kindness on reality TV, and they get to stick around. Can I name one?
It's hard because if you're too kind on the Housewives shows, you also get booted.
Yeah, you get booted. You have to bring something, and they always tell them that too. They tell them right before their confessionals. They tell them, who I'm going to have on soon, by the way, is a former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's actually in Miami. Do you remember Dana?
Yeah, the one with the glasses.
The one with the glasses.
Yeah.
So she's in Miami.
It makes me sad to have that name when I...
No, she's in Miami, and I reached out to her and I said, hey, I think how fun would it be if I just drive down there and maybe I'll do a Super Bravo Tuesday with you in Miami. And she's like, yeah, come on down, Adam. I said, okay. So We'll see. Maybe because I just feel like she comes with, I don't want to say that she
Layers.
has. Did you say layers?
Yeah.
It's maybe layers. I just feel like maybe, I don't want to say it's animosity towards the franchise, but you can tell she's ready to kind of expose everything that, you know, comes up. Or like she was talking about Salt Lake City before anybody was. She was talking about Erica Girardi's divorce before it was even public. She's always constantly leaking these things. It should be up and Adam and down with Dana.
she might be a good source.
I mean, she leaks these things before they even come out. And I feel like, listen, if I ever come on here and claim that I know something, it's usually, I will only say it if I know the person works within some sort of network or they have a connection. Otherwise, I won't come on here and say it. It's just silly because then I'm going to come on here, say it, and then 3 months later, it's not going to be true and I'm going to look like an idiot.
No, so, I don't blame you because I see some things online and I'm like, that's pretty tricky that you're saying it because it sounds like you're not very clear.
Yeah.
And then I'll see 2 or 3 months later that information wasn't correct. So yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, okay. Well, let's see. Maybe we'll have an up and Adam and down with Dana. And I'm always down with you, Dana. So this is going to be like your other Dana that is not
down
like you at all.
Do what now?
I said, this is like the other Dana who's not like you at all.
But you know what? She maybe have a lot of animosity. Well, she came out on the wrong foot because everybody's rich there. And I feel like she was throwing out the price tags because maybe she was trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I mean? Instead, and that was her insecurity.
Well, she did say here recently, anybody can go check it out, but she did say on an Instagram video, she's like, you know, it kind of peeved her a little bit because you don't know in the moment when you're filming the Housewives, like that moment where Kim and Brandy get into that argument inside of her house when they're supposed to be playing games and stuff. And they were all making fun of her house for not having furniture. She was just like, you know, in the moment, everybody acts like they're having a good time. And I wouldn't even have known that that people were complaining about the furniture and X, Y, and Z. And then she's like, all of a sudden the confessionals play and it kind of hurts your feelings a little bit because I had so much more I could have said about these women, but I held back because I thought that I was actually making friendships with them.
Right.
And that's where she went wrong because she wasn't well-versed enough in Housewife, I think the Housewife franchises, whereas like now Dr. Tiffany Moon coming on to Real Housewives of Dallas, she's coming in like a bang.
It's like a sneaky chess game.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Why one person was called what was she called? The chess master of Beverly Hills. No longer on Beverly Hills, but she was good at the game.
Yeah. Who are you talking about? LVP?
I didn't say that. You said that.
Oh yeah. I love her so much.
I love that person so much. No, I actually do. I can't talk about things.
Yeah, I know, but I do. I love her so much.
Yeah. Well, Dana, I appreciate you jumping on with me. If you're going to be around here in a little bit, I'm doing Family Chantel, and I'm going to be talking about some stuff that we don't know about yet from Family Chantel, which I'm excited to bring on there. And then Femtero is coming on, if you're around.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a teacher.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, 255 in the room. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit like. I'm going to bring up one more caller really quick. Hi, Hey Jay.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
How's it going?
It's going great. You can hear me just fine, right?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I do feel like, well, I don't know actually to lie on Potomac. Like, I think that's not really, we haven't really seen that in her character. She's very messy, but we've not seen her lie. So I don't know why she would say that about Karen if it wasn't going to be the truth.
Okay. That's fair because she is she's pretty authentic in the sense that even when you hold her feet to the fire, she owns it. In the moment, she's just like, okay, you know what? This thing is about to come out about Michael. I'm just going to expose the fact that we had an open marriage. This is about to come out. I have to own this. Like she's constantly just, yeah.
But I also do feel like her intentions were, oh wow, I might be a little on the outs with the group. Let me push Karen down further so I can kind of come back up.
Well,
Because after she said that she wrote the statement, the girls were kind of like, oh girl, we don't really know about you anymore. And she was like, oh yeah, well I have this about Karen, and Karen's trying to do something even worse.
well, even when she was sitting there across from Monique at the table and she had that moment, it didn't take her 2 seconds to just pick up the phone and be like, excuse me, Karen, can you please say what you said? And I'm just thinking in my head, like, in real life, if cameras weren't there, nobody would even have the audacity to do that with the person sitting right in front of them. You just would not put somebody on the spot like that. But she rushed to the opportunity.
Exactly. I also am in relation to Elizabeth, I wanted so much more from her this season, and I think that she really shot herself in the foot with the I can't talk about it, then she talks about it, then she's like backtracking.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, bye. Like,
well, that's the point, and that's why I said, it's not that I find her to be boring or anything like that. I actually like her bubbly personality. I find her to be fun, and if we're gonna keep Emily half the time, why not keep Elizabeth? But I think she came on a season too soon. She should have waited for this divorce to be over, and then we would have been all enamored by her lifestyle, her divorce, her new relationship, because she'd actually be able to show us the real Elizabeth. Right now, she's putting a smoke screen in front of us, and we don't get to see anything.
And that's another thing. I feel like we're getting to a point with the Housewives where we can tell when they're being inauthentic, and with Elizabeth, it's just not coming off realistic and real. And like, you have this boyfriend, but like, you guys don't do anything. It's just not like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not. And you were married to a rock star and a businessman, a guitarist, and you didn't. I'm just saying, if you're flying all over the place and you have this like lavish lifestyle, and you have this guy who is a guitarist, and it seems like you kind of live like a rock star, so to speak. I just don't feel like you came home and put on a chastity belt and you're like, no, don't touch me. I don't want to have a relationship. I don't want to do anything. It just
doesn't sound. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to anyone. But congratulations to her for trying to tell us that.
Yeah. She just doesn't realize. I guess she didn't read the room, read her audience. But since we're talking about pre-produced storylines, I just wanted to ask you really quick, watching Real Housewives of Potomac and watching Robin tour this 1.6 whatever million dollar home, is that not ridiculous?
Okay, Adam. This is where I always get weird, because I think it was a season where Candace toured like a $2 million home.
Yes.
And I know it's like a bit of like the fourth wall thing. Like, they're at work when we're watching them on the show, so they are in fact getting a check, and Robin has been there since season 1. So while she's definitely not close to being the highest paid, I'm sure, I would think that she has some type of salary where you would assume she'd be able to afford that house.
Really?
I didn't think that was without. Now, it's the tax thing, but she said she was like on a payment arrangement. I'm like, okay.
So you think that she might actually be able to afford this house?
Yeah, like I also felt that same way about Candace. I'm like, if you're on the show, like if it was your first season or like your second season and the season before you were poor, okay, like probably not. But like, Robin's on her 5th season. I would hope. Like, Giselle brought a house for hundreds of thousands.
I'm pulling out the calculator here real quick. Okay. So if you're thinking about this and you think Leah McSweeney made $60,000 her first season, and that was an already known franchise. So Potomac Women came in like Teresa Giudice on New Jersey, their first season, not making a whole bunch of money at all. Let's say she made $50,000 her first season. And then let's say that she tripled that the second season, right? She made $150,000 the second season, which is not likely, but we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. And then let's say she made $300,000 the third season. $300,000 the third season. Okay, that's still at $500,000. And then you add a fourth season. We'll say that now. Let's say $300,000 again because we gave her the benefit of the doubt. And then the fifth season, we'll say that she
makes $400K this season. Like
Okay, 400. So then that would leave her at about $1.2 million that she's made over the seasons, plus all of her appearances or whatever, if she even gets paid for those, because I don't think that they really get paid to go on a whole lot to go and watch What Happens Live. They just get flown out and put up, and they get treated for the whole week that they're out there. But I'm not seeing 1.6. I'm really not. Maybe I'm digging on her.
Like, I definitely. So I think it was harder for me to see it for Robin than it was for me to see it for Candace.
Okay.
But I feel like, I think this is just kind of me being optimistic, but I feel like that would be semi-reasonable. Like that she, and at least if she plans to come back next season, I would think that, okay, she would be able to, the house wants to sell for 1.1. She'd probably get it for like 700.
Okay.
She's not looking in Potomac. That's the other thing.
But Giselle bought a $1 million house that she redid that's still way under 1.6. And I think that she probably gets paid a lot more than Robin. But then I'll play devil's advocate with you really quick, because then we have the people who are part of the VPR cast, and they came out, and this just could be a younger mindset, not really understanding the mortgages that they signed up for, but they came out buying $2 million homes. So technically,
and that's why I look at the Bravo playing field, and I'm thinking, for someone that's been on since the first season, I mean,
there's potential.
Granted, there's potential that she would be like, yeah, I've been on the show for 5 seasons, and this is my salary, and this is how it's increased over the years. And then you have the husband who I'm sure Juan he's the head coach, he makes like $200,000. So like you have something there to
like a cushion.
With. Yeah, like you have something there to work with. Now, do I think Robin? I also think Robin's time on the show is very limited. That's my other thought, though. So,
I think that
1.6 is a little high.
Yeah, I feel like just like how Kyle Richards is pretty instrumental in keeping around who she usually wants on Beverly Hills, aside from Teddy this year, that I think the network was just like, you're done. I think that Giselle's probably instrumental in keeping Robin around. I just don't know how long she's going to have that sort of pull. And I don't know how long people are going to want to keep Robin on the show, even though they say that usually she's a good anchor and that she kind of gives her opinion and doesn't really sway. It seems like she's just kind of attached to Giselle's hip.
Well, here's the thing. And I think that, like, for example, in Atlanta, there were several seasons when everyone was like, oh my gosh, Cynthia has nothing going for her besides Peter with the personality, and she's Needy's close friend.
Right.
And that lasted Cynthia for years.
That's fair.
So,
but I feel like she started to deliver stuff, and she started to come into her own, and then challenge.
We're getting Robin. We're getting Robin, you know, challenging the other girls, at least trying to give us a little something this season. Like, oh no, Karen, you're not going to make it on my website because I just don't like how you look. Like, we're getting her at least trying to be drama. I think overall, if you're boring, you're boring, and I think Robin is on that side. But
okay,
trying.
Okay, that's fair.
But I didn't ask you this. Giselle said that she had a really rough reunion. What did you think? Did you watch her on chat room? Yeah. She said that it was hard for her.
Yeah, she said that she was sitting there for 8 hours and the women were all going at her. And I have a feeling that this is partially to do about Jamal, obviously. And then the fact that we started off the season where she was forming this nice organic friendship with Monique. And then all of a sudden when this happened, it was like, bang. But a lot of people are saying that Giselle was pushing for that conflict indirectly, not understanding that Monique was going to full on, I like to use the word now because I learned it I forgot where I learned it, but Molly Whopper. And I think that Giselle, I don't know, she's going to be under a lot of flack. She said that she was attacked for 8 hours straight. In the last 2 hours, she finally broke down and just lost it. So we shall see. I can't wait to see the reunion just because it's going to be so incredibly awkward. And I mean, they have to start off they have to start off the reunion with all of the women there. Like they're all full-time. But then again, they made Vicky sit out. I don't know. I'm so curious to see
Vicky was a friend this season. She sit out because I think the similarity would be how Tinsley left halfway through New York, but she
Right.
started when they started the reunion. She started the reunion sitting with the girls.
Okay, so you think that Monique is probably, I mean, I would see them all starting off sitting there at the same time and Andy saying like, hi, Karen, how are you? Good, Andy, how are you? Hi, Giselle, you look great. And, you know, like going all the way down and hitting Monique too, because I feel like she's going to be right there. Obviously, she's sitting across the room from
I mean, she brought a binder. She brought a binder and her husband did get to come out too. So she was pretty much, I imagine she sat there the whole reunion. What did you think about Robin sitting next to Karen at the reunion, though?
I think that they don't care where they put Robin. They're probably just like, okay, seat filler right here, Karen over here. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what she's really going to come to the reunion with, aside from maybe looking at Karen next to her. And Karen's going to shut her down, to be honest with you. Karen's going to say that this is some ageism bull and just be like, girl, shut up. And I'm not a mean person at all. And I don't, you know, whatever. I'm just saying what I think is going to happen. I don't think that she's really going to have a whole lot to offer.
I don't either.
But
I kind of wanted to see her go, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I think Monique, though, bringing the binder and also tweeting out saying that her husband pretty much didn't come to the reunion to play. I'm excited to see how this really goes. You know, the binder being what? Is it the binder being the emails from the lawyers? Because there was an alleged email from Candace's lawyer asking for money.
I'm sure that's in there. What she said when Watch What Happened Live, she said she had it sectioned off by cast member name. So that tells me that she pretty much, and then I know that she said the first time she was on Watch What Happens Live this season, that she was going to expose Giselle and Jamal at the reunion. So I'm sure there was a lot of that, because apparently everyone's came across that information.
Oh, this is going to be so messy. I'm so excited for it.
I know.
All right. Well, hey, Jay, we're coming to the end of this, but I want to say thank you so much for jumping on with me. You got me excited, even more excited about the reunion. So I can't wait for that. And are you watching Family Chantel at all or no?
I did watch the first season, and I do plan on watching the next season. I think you had on one of your Super Bravo Tuesdays, you had one of the ladies on, and that did you?
Not from Family Chantel. I don't think so. No, maybe it was the women from Smothered.
No. I'm 99% sure it was. I can't think of her name, but like, I feel like it.
I hope I didn't, and I'm not forgetting.
That
would be so disrespectful. No, I don't think.
Yes, I plan to watch the next season.
Awesome. Well, if you're around later, and even if you're not watching it, the second 30 minutes of the hour, I bring on Fem Tarot, and she's doing tarot readings. You get to ask a question. She hits the cards, and she's been pretty spot on with everybody, enough for people to be doing or reaching out to her for private readings. So if you're around and you want a reading, just pop in.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right, guys, that's all the time for today. We have 240 in the room. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. I'm so thankful for all of you guys joining me this week. Even though it's not Thanksgiving week, I can still be thankful. I really appreciate you guys. Love you guys so much. Honestly, I talked to Pops yesterday, and I do get to see him today. So if Hermion's in the room, Hermione is in the room. Hermion's in the room. Hi, Hermione. We're going to be bringing Pops the flowers from you today. I will send you a photo of Pops with the flowers, just because he's going to appreciate it so much. And yeah, I'll see you guys here in a little bit. We're going to be going live at 1:30. So in about 35 minutes, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 35 minutes, we're going to go live and talk about Family Chantel. I'm going to drop a Family Chantel BOMB, and then we're going to bring on Fem Tarot. So see you guys then. Bye, guys.